Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or welcome in general if you're new here. My name is Johanna. We are going to be looking at love and relationships today, which I have already pulled some cards for, but we're going to pull some more. So I've already kind of been tapping into the energy, if you will. So whether you're single or in a relationship or dealing with someone, I'm going to try to apply it to all aspects, we'll say. Obviously take what resonates though and leave the rest, because this may or may not be a message for you. So let's kind of get into it. So we have, at first we had the sacral chakra come out, number 2 here. Then we had number 3 with reach out, which is like the 3 of Pentacles. And then we had healing begins with what would be the 6 of Swords. I feel like there's an element of knowing what you want, but also maybe communicating that with a person. So if you're dealing with someone, reaching out with is like the 3 of Pentacles. So 3 of Pentacles is about collaborating, getting on the same page as people, teamwork, right? And it talks about doing things with people rather than trying to do it all on your own. So I feel like for some of you, there's what you want in a relationship, and are you and your person on the same page? Now, if you're single, I feel like this is actually healing a wound around being in a relationship. So maybe you're very like independent or hyper independent. It's like getting used to sharing, getting used to being with another person, and so that you can actually build, so that you can actually grow, right? Like you can move up the levels, because there's these hands that are, she can choose which level of the hands to kind of sit on, basically. There is a desire for relationships. There's passion that is able to be had. There's creativity. There's fertility, right? The sacral chakra can resemble fertility. So it's like there is opportunity for relationships. There's opportunity for the ones you're already in to expand and grow, but there's also, I feel like, opportunities of people around you to get to know or to possibly create relationships if you're looking for new love. There's the element of healing, but I feel like there's a need for you and this other party to get on the same page, right? And I feel like that's where there's like this disconnect. Now, we also had Journey come out here. Then we had the Community card, which is interesting because it's another number 3, or 3 people, I should say. It's number 7, but it's 3 people. And then we have Angel of Balance, number 48 here. So it's like you're trying to find, I feel like, balance between you and another person. Now, if you are looking at healing a relationship, some of you, there might be someone who you have to, or are wanting to, like whether it's therapy or like couples therapy or something like that. There could be you looking into that for you and your partner in your relationship, with Community here, with reach out. And others of you, if you don't know what to do or you're unsure, maybe speaking to people like friends, not necessarily about your relationships, but like, what should I do in this situation of like, should I see a therapist? Are we okay? Like, I feel like there's like exploration that needs to happen here in relationships, where it's like getting on the same page. I just feel like there's something about getting on the same page. So again, you're either feeling like you're so distant from a new person, like you don't even have those opportunities coming in. And I think in that situation, it's like asking yourself, are you unconsciously pushing them away because you are very independent, right? Not that that's a bad thing, but we have to be able to let our guard down to be in relationships, right? And if you're in a relationship, I really just feel like you could feel very separate from your person at this time, even if you're like literally living in the same house. And so there's this balance. I'm getting like this balance energy of like this masculine, this feminine energy, like whether you're male or female or whatever your couple situation is, doesn't really matter, but it's like there needs to be this polarity. There needs to be this balance between you you and your person. And that's when you start to notice yourself both embodying, I'm going to say the roles, but I'll use that loosely, you know what I mean? When you can embody that energy a little bit more, your energy, whether you resonate with masculine or feminine, it's going to help the other person as well. Let's see. One thing I did want to point out as well, some of you, finances could be influencing you in this relationship. Yeah, we got financial constraints, which always reminds me of like the Five of Pentacles. And then we also have Door to Value, which has a bunch of money on it. So some of you, it's like, I feel like there could be new financial opportunities coming in if things have been kind of tight or things have been not great. I feel like there might be an opening or an expansion of like the energy around money. But I feel like maybe one or both of you, or there's like a shared relation or a shared financial burden that's kind of going on. Because then we also have the Three of Swords, which says sadness and isolation at the bottom of the deck on this deck. So there's definitely something that is like coming up to be healed and looked at. It's like, but you have to be willing, I feel like, to go down the journey. You have to be willing to get on the same page. And I feel like both parties have to be willing to do that. And if you are, again, if you're single, this is about like you being open to like sharing your life with another person. And that can be really hard if you've been like independent for a really long time, or that's something that you were taught growing up, or something that has been your experience growing up, that you have to be tough, you have to do it yourself, you can't depend on other people. Obviously we still want to be our own independent people, but we can let people in, right? We don't need to always push people away. So let's get some more energy around the love and relationships here. What else do we need to know for love and relationships? Some of you might also feel like if you're in a relationship, like your chemistry, like it's not that chemistry is not there, but you might feel kind of like the spark is kind of burnt out a little bit. And I feel like that's because, like, again, there's this disconnect, or there's this lack of balance, or like you're both not on like the same page. Like, what else here for love and relationships? What do we need to know? The Fool card. Okay, so this is nice. This is like a fresh start and like a new chapter, whether that's in your relationship with a new person. I also feel like it's like breaking a cycle. So if you've been caught in the same patterns, doing this healing work is going to help you break a cycle. It's going to help you get out of a pattern that you find that you're currently in with someone, or just in your love life in general. We also have the Page of Swords and the Hermit. Okay, so there's a little bit of like self-discovery here. There is personal healing that I feel like sometimes it's really interesting. Sometimes, as much as we want both people in a relationship to do the work, sometimes just one person shifting their energy and shifting their perspective and shifting how they show up in a relationship can help to heal the relationship, even if the other person like isn't, we'll say, doing the work. But it's like the energy that you're bringing in, they're going to bring that back, right? Because relationships are mirrors. Now on the flip side of this, if you're doing a lot of the work and you're doing a lot of healing, and they're not, and it's not changing the relationship, it's going to further divide you, which is when you're going to know that like it's time to move in a new direction. It's time to move on. It's time to let go. It's like, I almost feel like doing the healing work gives us the opportunity to, or gives the other person in the relationship to the opportunity to step up and to respond, we'll say, to that shift. But if they stay in their own patterns and they stay in their own habits, I mean, maybe there's obviously a conversation that needs to be happening, but if you've done all that and you've done all those steps and maybe you've tried counseling and all these other things, it might be time to kind of shift, to kind of move, right? I do feel like there might need to be things said with the Page of Swords. There might need to be a bit of a communication, maybe with how you feel. 5 of Cups is at the bottom here. And the Hermit card, I just feel like there's been this deep inner reflection. Like, I just feel like a little bit of like you understanding or discovering maybe what you want. But I also feel like this is also like a deep dive into your own healing, like you really looking at like yourself and going through a healing process and maybe realizing what you want, what you don't want, what's important to you in relationships. But I feel like then that needs to be further like expressed. There might need to be this like communication in order for things to actually start to shift and move forward. Now, what's interesting is with this Hermit card, I kind of put it over the Community card. I almost feel like for some of you, I was getting this kind of before, but I was like, oh, well, I'll just like leave it for now. But maybe for some of you, there might also be like, be mindful who you are sharing your relationship drama with. Reach out to people who are supportive, obviously, but also know who, and some of you might be kind of like pulling back or have already pulled back from maybe certain relationships or connections, like in the sense of like friends, I'm getting. Especially if they're friends that you would hang out with as couples, I'm getting. And we have 2 of Pentacles here, interesting. That just fell out. With the 4 of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. So there might be this kind of like you trying to balance yourself out. But in order for the relationships to shift, in order to start new relationships or to meet new people, it's like it starts from within and then allowing that person to kind of step up, we'll say. You know, there's things that I personally have experienced in my own relationship where like I maybe am irritated by certain things or whatever, but then when I take a deeper look at them, like I'm kind of irritated because it's the underlying reason as to maybe why it's irritating is because it's something that I need to look at within myself, in the sense of, not that I'm doing everything wrong, but more of like, oh, that irritates me because this in my life isn't where I want it to be, right? Like, so there's kind of this like, we do that in relationships, right? We get irritated or mad at people or whatever because like we're dissatisfied in our own, you know, sense. And so I can see myself doing that at times. Where if I was kind of more grounded and settled within myself, I wouldn't maybe be as irritated by that situation, right? It's kind of like petty stuff, or, you know, maybe it could be still bigger things, but it's also like, it's just maybe not, it might be more of like, I don't know if the right word is transference, but it's like when you transfer your feelings onto someone else. Yeah. Let's get a little bit more on this Community, because I feel like there might be something more with this. Clarify or tell us more about Community here for love and relationships. What is this about? Some of you, if you are looking for new love, I feel like you need to get out more. We have Queen of Pentacles. Clarify Community here. Some of you could be like spending a lot of time at your home or inside or working. I feel like, yeah. Clarify Community. What is this about? Yeah, we got the High Priestess, or the Priestess in this deck. One more here. 3 of Wands. Yeah, there's a need to kind of like get outside. Get out. Socialize. Especially if you're looking for new love. We have the Ace of Wands here at the bottom of the deck. So I feel like, yeah, definitely if you're looking for new love, it's like, yes, do the healing work. Yes, look at those things. I feel like a big possible block for you is just like, am I allowing another person into my life as much as you want it? Are you kind of like subconsciously maybe pushing people away or being very like hyper independent? But also some of you just like need to like kind of get out there. If you've been doing a lot of healing work, or just been really working on yourself or working on your business, or maybe just hibernating a little bit, right, with that Hermit card, like it might be time for you to like kind of get out of the house, explore, you know, if you're invited to things like, you know, don't be afraid to go out, because I'm getting with this 3 Three of Wands, there's all these dominoes. It's like it'll be a domino effect. There'll be a ripple effect of that. You going out and socializing and meeting people and talking to people, you don't know who that could eventually lead you to, right? But I really do feel like, yeah, some of you could just be like inside a bit too much. Okay, what else here for love and relationships? We have the Sun card with the Six of Wands and the Four of Wands. So this is really positive energy, these three cards. This is like, it's interesting though, we got the Five of Cups. So I feel like things are going to improve in relationships. Like there's going to be good energy, especially with the Sun card being here. It's like it's the happiest card in the deck, right? So it's like there is positive elements, but I feel like there's maybe like dissatisfaction in some aspects of your love life or relationships. The Six of Wands, the Four of Wands makes me feel like there's going to be victory in the sense of like things coming together, or you and someone coming together. Some of you could I don't really see a ton of like movement necessarily, but with this Fool card, like some of you could be starting, you could be moving in with this person, you could be moving in general with this person. I also just feel like your relationship could be kind of like moving to a higher level of commitment. Some of you, Four of Wands is marriage, it could be engagement. It also could just be like you celebrating like and being excited and happy about like and feeling victorious in the sense that like you feel like your relationship is moving forward in a really positive way, with the Sun card here. So I feel like if you've been kind of like disappointed, I feel like there could be things that shift in the relationship. Some of you might need to have this conversation in order for this to shift, in order for things to, but others of you, I almost feel like by doing your own reflection, by doing your own work, it's going to change your outlook on the relationship. And again, the energy that you show up to the relationship with is going to then influence this person's energy, and then things are going to get better. I know it sounds silly, but it's kind of like when you're hanging out with, even if it's not like a love relationship, even if you're hanging out with friends and if someone's grumpy, like you kind of get grumpy, you know? So it's almost like that, like it's like bleeding into this other person's energy. And not that you're miserable or anything, but if you're, again, some of the things that you need to work on are coming up. It could be vice versa too. Like it could be this other person's got some shit going on and they need to kind of deal with it. They need to handle it in order for this to kind of start to like feel better. And then I feel like that's going to help change things, but they also have to be willing to do that work, because if they're not willing to do that work, then it like they're just, I feel like there might need to be, if it's the other person, there needs to be maybe some sort of conversation or like a, hey, what's up, what's going on kind of thing. Or there could also, like, they just might have to navigate and move through this themselves. We have love doesn't have to mean near, which is interesting. 1 second. Okay, we're back. Yeah, we have love doesn't have to mean, love doesn't have to mean near. I feel like this is almost kind of highlighting that distance or that separation. Even for those of you who are single, it's like this person might not feel close, or the next person might not feel close. And I feel like that doesn't mean that it's not possible. It doesn't mean that this relationship can't improve. It doesn't have to mean what you think it means. And it doesn't mean that these people, like this person doesn't love you. It doesn't mean that, you can't have love, right? We also have, it's not only about being right. Interesting. I feel like that links to this like collaboration piece, like being on the being on the same page. Sometimes when we're trying to prove ourselves that we're right, or that like we know what's best kind of thing, it doesn't always go over very well. But I feel like this is saying, let down your guard. Let people in, let this person in. You don't always it doesn't always have to go the way you think it should go. and you don't always have to be in control. And it's interesting. This one says, and on the back, there's words. It says, in all tests of character, when two viewpoints are pitted against each other, in the final analysis, the thing that will strike you the most is not who was right or wrong, strong or weak, wise or foolish, but who went to the greater length in considering the other person's perspective. So where do you maybe need to see something from the other angle, the other side? Look at, like I was saying with like, if you're single, like, and even if you're in a relationship, are you open to letting this person in? Or are you so busy and being focused on like what you think a relationship should look like, or what you do or don't want this person to do? Like, there's an element of like allowing that I feel like needs to happen. And then we also have time to make a demonstration. So I feel like this is like showing your love. I feel like this is also like the doing the work piece, where it's time for you to show up in the energy that you want to see and show this person, or just present with this energy so that people can respond to that, right? Like it's an energy that can be felt, or that will be felt. And so I feel like there's, a demonstration in the sense of, like you showing up the way that you need to show up, and not worrying about what this other person is or isn't doing. Take that pressure off of the relationship or the situation. And then we have, sometimes the good is hidden. Find the good in what they said or asked. It's always there, even if they didn't mean for it to be there. And it said, P.S. Clues for what you want are hidden all around you. So this is, I feel like, for sure, kind of that element of like that surrendering, that trust, that allowing. And again, love is near you, even if it's hidden. Whether that's a literal person or experience or opportunity for love, if you're single, or it's in your relationships and it's just might not feel, you maybe can't feel it or see it, but it's there. And I feel like there's just an element of like getting on the same page as this person. And even if you're trying to manifest a person, it's just like you getting on the same wavelength as this person, and then that's going to bring this relationship in. I really feel like this is going to bring this relationship in towards you. So hopefully that resonates for you guys. I feel like there's an element of like, it's just like, can we get on the same page? If not, there might be some issues, right? And that might be a choice that needs to be made. I'm not really seeing that necessarily right now, but I do feel like there gets to be a new happy chapter that gets to show up when we work on ourselves, work on our own energy, and allow the other person to show up and respond as well, instead of trying to control it. But really getting on the same page as someone in your life, in your relationships, is going to really, really help things move forward, because I just feel like there's this disconnect. But once you can get on the same page, you're really going to start to, see this relationship move forward. So that is what I have for you guys. So I will see you guys in the next reading. The next reading will probably be a pick a card. If you want to check out any of the pick a cards on my channel, I did do one for October if you haven't seen that yet. So you guys can check that out. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll be back probably in a couple days. So I hope you guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.